I think you're gonna enjoy yourself. We finna talk about all the above, from Kanye West to Dave Chappelle to the entanglements of today's generations and eras. But before we do any of that, I gotta drop the intro one time.
I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh, I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need help. Oh,
That's right.
I don't need nothing else.
That's right.
King's Dream Entertainment.
What's going on? It's Ruslan with KingsDreamENT.com. This channel exists to encourage, empower, inspire you to live God's dream for your life. Listen, I'm very excited about today. It's been fun on this YouTube thing. I've been having a blast. We've been covering all types of different current events. And this channel does exist to, encourage and empower people to live God's dream, live God's way so they could experience God's will. We cover all kinds of different topics. And today I'm going to be bringing on a guest here very soon who is an amazing comic, comedian, performer, all the above. His name is C. King. I'm going to bring him on in a sec. But if you're watching this live, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Give this video a quick thumbs up, like, and if you're in the stream, let me know where you're watching this from. That helps a ton. Even if you're watching, across all the other platforms, let me know how the audio sounds. I keep an eye on the chat while we're doing this live. Now, I think this is going to be one of those videos that you're going to find fairly valuable and entertaining as well. And so before we get into that, thank you guys all. Again, give this video a quick thumbs up. If you're watching a replay, it's all good. You can still let us know where you're watching this from in the comment section, but just know that when you're commenting on the comments, it's not the same as commenting in the chat. I can't see the comments live, so just know that. Okay, listen, before I bring in my man, C. King, I got a special guest all the way from Ohio, and he just got back from visiting the man himself. Just got back from seeing, our beloved brother Kanye. Ladies and gentlemen, without no further ado, we got Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, you're muted, champ. You are muted.
Okay, I fix it.
Yeah, I know you're not kind of hip to the technology side, but
hey,
I'm glad you're here.
Sometimes I gotta stay away, man. I gotta stay away.
So you just got back from seeing the brother Kanye, man. What's your thoughts on the whole situation, him running for president, all that?
It's hard to say because I've known Kanye for a long time. I've known this man. I kicked it with this man and shows with this man, and now it's that brother lost his mind. He done lost his mind, man. I keep saying it. You gotta stop calling people crazy, but that man is crazy. I keep telling you, I say, Hollywood will do that to you, man. Hollywood will do that to you, baby. There's so many people that you can talk to that have felt like Hollywood has just been this entity, this scary big monster machine that has everybody looking crazy. But I sad to say, man, I feel like they done got to him, baby. Have you read this man's tweets?
Yeah, man. He kind of wilding on the tweets, bro. He put up a bunch of stuff, took it down. Let me ask you this. He got his start on the Chappelle show back in, the early 2000s. He was one of the first men to give this man a break. Do you feel at all responsible or like you enabled some of this behavior?
Tell Kanye West I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. If I had anything to do with it, baby, I'm sorry. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
What was the vibe when you went and saw him at in Cody, Wyoming? It was kind of a cringy moment. He tried to get you to tell a joke on the spot. Tell a joke, Dave. Say something inspirational, Dave. And you feel very uncomfortable.
That was an ongoing joke backstage as well. Everybody, hey, Dave, make me laugh. It's like you got $1 and everybody started laughing. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, you got $1, give me $1, I'll make you laugh. And before I know it, everybody's unsatisfied already because they think I told the joke. No, I get paid to do this, man. It's been an amazing career, but Kanye, he has this uniqueness about him. Everybody understands that he's not okay right now. Kanye to himself is as clear as he thinks he is. That's what it is. Kanye is clear to himself.
This is true.
Kanye think he's thinking as clear as day.
Yeah, he thinks so.
No, baby.
All right, well, listen, Dave. I know you gotta go, man. You got a lot going on. You gotta hop back on a jet. But as you adjust the mic settings, Dave, thank you so much for being with us. And again, listen, we got another caller in. This is gonna be really interesting. I wasn't expecting this. Considering, and the brother Kanye's in our prayers. We got to keep him in prayer. But considering all the current situations with the entanglements, there's some alluding to some entanglements. I wanted to get C King's take on it. But before we get C King's take on it, we got Uncle Zell, who just popped up. I wasn't expecting Uncle Zell to have thoughts on this, man. Hold on. We having some connection issues, Uncle Zell. I think the camera stings situations. There we go, Uncle Zell. You ready, Uncle Zell?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here.
Uncle Zell.
I think, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Uncle Zell.
Okay, all right. I feel like now, is an important time to check your mental health. You understand? I feel like now we there's this cancel culture that can either push you or break you. And I feel like Kanye is at a point where he's been pushed so much that now he's made himself to be such an unbreakable. You ever seen a squirrel get pushed into a corner?
No.
After a while, they just attack. When they realize they can't go back anymore, they just attack. Kanye is attacking everything. He said he was wearing the Make America Great Again hats. He was talking. He was endorsing Trump, and now he said he's thinking clear. Now he said he's thinking clear. He wants to run for president of the United States.
Yep.
Look, I just started liking Jesus is King. I just started liking it. Now I don't know. I might have to take that off iTunes. I don't know. Is it authentic? Is it real? That's what everybody's trying to figure out. Everybody's trying to figure out, Kanye, are you real? Are you talking real? Is what you're saying authentic enough to be considered worthy? Can we trust you with a position of importance such as the President of the United States of America? We don't know. Wake up, Mr. West.
Now you have some interesting commentary on the entanglement of the Will and Jada situation. Now there's potentially an entanglement that came out. Kanye said there might have been an entanglement between Kim and God forbid, Meek Mill. What is your take just culturally on this whole this entanglement phenomenon we're seeing?
I blame reality TV. I blame networks who have allowed us to dive into the personal lives of a lot of these entertainers, like TMZ. They'll talk about it, but won't have all the facts. I guarantee you. Anybody can run up on somebody with a camera. All cameras pointing. Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And the first thing that comes out of the person's mouth is considered facts. You know, well, pardon me if I take the only thing from the Trump administration and say those are alternative facts.
Yeah.
Alternative facts. You know, a lot of people are talking about the entanglement between these couples, or between these power couples, as everybody says. But not everybody is focusing on their own entanglement. You see, we got a lot of entanglements amongst each other where we are allowing these distractions, these third strands, to infiltrate our dreams, our goals, our accomplishments, our very own successes. We've taken the two-strand twist of life, and we've turned it into. Hold on, am I? Okay, I'm unplugging over here. But we've taken the two-strand twist of life, and we've begun to incorporate things that have nothing to do with us. No, Kanye entanglements have nothing to do with us. Will and Jada's entanglements have nothing to do with us. They've invited to their red table. They've invited us to their red table, but at what cost? At what cost? From now on, everybody has a say-so somewhat in your business now. You've let people in to places that maybe they should not have been. We've talked more about August than we have talked about anything that's going on in July. You never thought about that one, huh? August is not even here yet. And he's got an album out called Entanglements. You see that? If it was a scam, if I ever seen one, a stunt, if I ever seen one, got an album coming out called Entanglements. I wish. Okay, let me not talk about their entanglements too much, and let me tell you and the people watching, be mindful of your own entanglements. Don't get distracted with anybody else. Get entangled with some dreams. Get entangled with some goals. Get entangled with yourself. Get entangled with Jesus, beloved. What's your entanglement with Jesus? What's your relationship? I told him, I said, look, I don't want no entanglement. And entanglement seems like it includes 3 strands. That's a braid right there. I don't want no braided relate. I want me some 2-strand twists. That's the case. Entanglement, my man.
Well, man, brother, Uncle Zell, we appreciate the wise words, especially in this climate. I think there's a lot of people who are going through it and trying to figure it out, and I think there's a lot of wisdom there. And one of the things we talk about a lot on this channel is we give a lot of young entrepreneurs, creative people, game and insight. And I heard we got 50 himself, Mr. Curtis Jackson, that's gonna hop in and give some of all the young entrepreneurs, the youngins, some insight in terms of how to navigate this new terrain with COVID and everything that's going on. And so I wanted to bring in the brother 50 who's calling in to give us some game on terms of how to navigate as creatives in this current climate.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing, Rose?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for being here, bro. I'm a big fan.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man, for having me on the show, man. It's been a long time coming. You all right?
Sorry, man. I'm good. So listen, there's a lot of rappers, aspiring rappers watching this right now. What advice would you have for just like the rappers that are coming up? You know, you got COVID, you got the protests. There's a lot going on. We're divided as a country, divided as a people. What coming from the perspective of the 48 laws of power and just everything you've been able to accomplish coming from Jamaica, Queens, what advice would you have for this new world of business and just the new world that we're in as entrepreneurs?
Well, I say this, man, and And my passion, all squeaky clean. If I could tell anybody to do it, I'd tell them to go legit, do it. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody's gonna give it to you. And that's gonna go over people's heads right there. Nobody's really gonna give it to you. You gotta go out there and get it yourself. You got friends, and you got fans, you got supporters, you got all things like that. You got trolls. You see me. Look, most of what I do, concerning, everybody that comes in my circle has to do with business. And people will see me make certain moves and say, oh, he did that. Wow, he's really, he's a bully, he's a troll. But if you think about it, not as much attention would have come to that person hadn't a big figure, say something or notice something, So a lot of what I do is business. And just because, these shows are locked down and I got a whole, calendar for the dates that just have not happened and won't happen. But that doesn't stop the process of me, going out and doing certain things and using social media as a tool to continue to, push the narrative that, we still here. A lot of people, they feel like, oh, my show just canceled. There's no money coming in. There's not much I can do right now. But, I don't think that show or that tour stops your purpose. Your purpose is embedded in you, and whatever, what I'm saying, it's not your brand, your purpose and all that is not more so aligned than the shows that you do. You know what I'm saying? Take this time to really, give people the positive light on what you got going on as far as, your daily, what's your prayer life like, what's your regular life like. If you don't pray, what's your process like? A lot of people are afraid to show their process. Everybody show my process, Do you know, a lot of people, say, oh, well, that's a lot of money. But if you look at it, I was getting paid $18,000 an episode for Power when we first started. Not a lot of people know that. I was getting paid $18,000 an episode for Power. And people say, oh, well, that's still a lot of money, but look at, if you look at G-Unit and what I was doing before, then now you got Power as one of the, top shows, on TV. You feel what I'm saying? So, don't trust the process, trust your purpose. And man, you just keep going. If you don't quit, you'll make it. You feel me?
Man, 50 wise words, 50. Thank you so much. I think that's, if you don't quit, you'll make it. I think that's very, very, very shrewd of you. I think that speaks a lot to the generation that's coming after us and being able to call audibles. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we finally got our actual scheduled guest for today. I'm happy we had some people call in that was able to kind of hold us down while the man himself, C King, was getting ready. He's almost ready to go. C King, feel free to switch your camera up if you want to go to the Canon joint. We got a sec. We could adjust. But if you're watching this live, thank you so much for watching this. Give this video a thumbs up. My brother C King is almost ready to hop in here with us and chop it up about his process. You guys heard from Dave. You heard from Uncle Zell. You heard from 50, and I think we're gonna hear from my brother C King, who's a freaking. I've met this dude in person a handful of times. I actually met him at like Andy Minio's birthday party. Super random. I had a show, and we got done with our show early, and then it just so happened to be some kind of thing Andy was having. We pulled up, and we was hanging out, and then C King introduced himself, and we started chopping it up, and just stayed in touch through Instagram. And then fast forward about last year, me and Foggy Raw was in New York. I think this is like November. And we were doing Theology. Shout out to my brother O'Dane, amazing brother. Theology, the whole move is just super fly. And so we were doing the show, and then boom, I look up, and it's my man C King. He the host. So I got to like meet this person. I saw his Instagram content bubble up, and then I saw him at Theology, and he was hilarious as a host. Like, I haven't seen somebody be this funny and this versatile. Sometimes the host just be talking too much. When a host is a comic, they be trying to be funny. This man was like, it didn't feel like that at all. Like he sang, he rapped, he did comedy. It was phenomenal. One of the best shows I've ever been to, and there was only maybe like 100 people there. So we performed, connected, and afterwards I've just seen his thing bubble up. But I wanted to chop it up with him specifically, just kind of share his story, but more than that, considering how to leverage the different technologies available to us, but as communicators, those of us that have a message, how to leverage humor and comedy, because there's a lot that goes into humor and comedy. Some of you guys asked, how do I book my guests? My guests are my friends, guys. This is like people I'm fans of in real life. I saw him on Instagram yesterday or the day before, and I was like, yo, shoot, you want to hop on? Because this would be hilarious. You know what I mean? And so if you guys are coming in late, we had C. King as, you know, Dave Chappelle getting back from hanging out with Kanye. Then then we had C. King as Uncle Zell, Denzel reacting to the entanglements of Jada and Will, and come to find out there's entanglements, unfortunately or allegedly, from Meek Mill and Kim, and we, you know, I don't know if we're gonna talk about that, you know. And so anyway, he's been killing it. So yo, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, C. King. What's up, boss?
What's good, man? What's up, bro?
Bro, yo, your impressions are so spot on. It's creepy. Like when you got the laugh down. Bro, let's just break down like your journey with comedy. How and why did you get into comedy? Because it's such a, it could be such a tough platform, right? Live is different than skits. But what got you into comedy? Let's just hop right in.
So I was doing like community theater. My mom was, you know, stage managing for the show, and a month before the show, lady drops out of the play. A mother knows the lines, so I help her learn the lines. Then I ended up learning lines. Night before the show, guy drops out of the play. I happen to know his lines. Got into acting that way. And the role was real serious, and I was like, you know, it was almost like a what do you call it? It was almost like a soap opera kind of. I was just like, man, I want to feel the people. I want to make them laugh and stuff like that. So there was a role in the play for a character called the homeless person, and the homeless person was the comic relief of the show. Not that homelessness is anything funny, but you know, it was the comic relief of the show. I had to add that in there, and I loved playing that role, especially the switch in characters and things like that. You know, just to know that you know, I had the ability to make people laugh. I didn't realize how much of an effect it really had. I knew that it made me feel good. I actually started hosting after that, hosting different shows, and you know.
So you went from acting opportunity. The acting opportunity led you into adjusting the character, right? Because you said the character was serious.
Yeah.
And then it became kind of like the comedic relief. So you were working with people that gave you free, like, creative license, which I think is important when we think about these things, right? You had creative freedom, and then you go from that into hosting.
Right. Right.
So that's an interesting timeline.
Yeah, it was crazy. This lady from my church actually asked me to host her gospel concert, and from there I went on to host poetry events for, you know, True Voices. Then I went on to host some showcase called the Ology, which we met at. I went on to host the Kingdom Choice Awards. I went on to host banquets and birthday parties and you know, celebrity. This was the craziest thing. I was a celebrity. This is what they labeled me as, a celebrity guest host for a Sweet 16. That was crazy. That was crazy. A celebrity. First of all, it's 16-year-olds. Like, I'm not thinking like nobody's like, you know. But people are like, yo, C. King came to my birthday party. And I'm not grasping, you know, I'm not grasping the fact that this is real. You know, I'm still like, okay, well, there's a lot that I want to do. There's a lot that I want to achieve. There's a lot that I want to accomplish. Afterwards, I started doing Instagram videos. You know, social media like really blew up. And this is me not really understanding what I was blessed with and the talent that I was given. This is not understanding the power of it, or how you know, you can do something really well, but it's not necessarily your purpose, or how you, I feel like how you come about, or how you, the experience that people get when they, you know, when they see you on stage, or whatever, however you make them feel, however you make somebody feel, because you can be a great, you know, impressionist or comedian, and people just are like, oh, this guy is a terrible person, and he just, you know, he's a great comedian, but he just, nobody can get next to him, no one can talk or communicate with him, and that's not something that I was looking forward to being.
Gotcha.
I always wanted to make sure that my spirit was in check, you know, when I would do these things, because, you know, connecting with people who enjoy my content, who enjoy me on stage, was so much greater than you know, actually being on stage. Making people laugh is a beautiful thing, but afterwards connecting with people and you know, people saying, yo, we praying for you, man, you gonna make it big, this and the third, yo, you know, I just wanted to, what's your advice on this, and what did you do for that?
Right.
That is, you know, that's one of the greatest things about it. So,
Amen.
you know, even Denzel said it's selfish. It's one of the most selfish things you can do. Why? Because of the feeling that you get. You know, it's almost like that's your gift for doing. You know, that's your reward for doing what it is that you do. So I'm going to continue to do it, and I know a lot of people will say like, oh, well, isn't that self-gratifying, or isn't that? No, man, I really honestly believe that through God, this is my peace, this is my sanity.
Yeah. See, we got a little slight issue with the audio. They're hearing like a double, so I don't know if your speakers are on. The video looks great, by the way. You guys, we're running live, so in case you're wondering. So I'm gonna see if we can. It sounds like the speakers might be on, and there's like a feedback happening. So if not,
what about now?
I think I still hear it. Just the video looks so good because he's using a new Canon utility. Canon dropped the utility thing. If you got a Canon camera, you can use your camera as a webcam, which is crazy. But then we're running into some visual issues, but not visual, audio issues. So I'm gonna let my man C King see if we can make any adjustments on that. Again, guys, if you're watching this live, we're gonna continue bringing you just interesting, fire content. I got a ton of questions for him regarding this idea that we talk about with adding value, right? And for me, when I think of adding value, I'm thinking like, how can I give people timely information to push them into the things that they want to be doing with their purpose? But I think sometimes we overlook that if somebody is funny, if somebody is a really skilled comedian, a really skilled skit maker, a really skilled musician, right? That giving people a degree of escapism, and I know that sounds weird, but giving people a degree of entertainment, of laughing, of not thinking about their problems for a moment, putting a smile on somebody's face. Literally, when your mouth and your face changes into a smile, it literally releases dopamine. And so what I don't want to do in my motivational, like, yo, add value in my realm of that, I don't ever want to diminish people who are just like, bro, I'm a comedian, like I'm a comic, I'm an influencer, I'm a rapper, I'm an artist. That you don't have to just be the guy that's giving out motivational game like I am, or I'm doing my best to, right? That you can be a comedian and you can give people just a smile adds value to somebody. Like a smile adds value. And what I appreciate about C King is every time I'm on his Instagram, I literally sit there and I laugh out loud, and me and my wife, we enjoy the content. So let's talk about that, man, because I think a lot of people kind of overlook how important just humor is, right? Like, as a communicator, if you're a pastor and you're funny, don't suppress that and not understand humor or say, oh, I'm just gonna preach the word. You know what I mean? That sometimes telling a funny story or opening with a funny story as a communicator can be great, you know. But if you are an artist or a comedian, like, or you want to be a rapper, but it's not happening, maybe making skits could open that door for you. You know what I mean? And TikTok and all that kind of stuff. I would love to hear your stuff, you on that, man, because I just think it's brilliant and it adds value, personally adds value to my life. So, like, how do you process all of that?
I love to that, you know, there are different ways people do it. Some people say, well, you know, I'm an artist, but I know something is funny, so I'm going to try to translate that into my work. Now, you know, there are certain people who, you know, it works for, it can work for, but then it doesn't work for. Like, if you're a mainly, I don't want to say that, like, if your rap is, sorry y'all, if your rap is hardcore, you know what I'm saying? Can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you great. You sound great now.
All right. So if your rap is like hardcore, you know, and you know, you're trying to do like, when there's nothing, literally nothing funny about what you're talking about, there's no humor or anything, or maybe your level isn't, you know, you can definitely try it out, but don't let that get in the way of the message that you're trying to get out. I've been asked to be on certain people's albums to do skits and things like that, that are funny, you know, and people are like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave it up to you to make it a funny moment, you know, as opposed to trying to be funny themselves or whatever, you know. The communication gets mixed up with certain people. Like, well, does he want to be funny, or does he want to be serious, or does he want to, you know? I will say that comedy and making people laugh and adding those things definitely will add. And I don't know if this will contradict or whatever. It'll add, if you can pull it off, it'll add to your character. Oh man, and I know some artists who are like the funniest people. You know what I'm saying? You just wouldn't know it because, you know, some of this music is just like, it's either really lovey-dovey or, you know, it's just, it doesn't give you that sense of, you know, of funny. However whatever your purpose, whatever your message is, be that, you know. But like, I've heard Dave Chappelle say that a lot of musicians want to be comedians, and a lot of comedians want to be musicians.
It's the realest thing I heard today.
Because I love music. And if you hear, like, even when I'm doing, like, you know, I may do the ology or something like that, you know, I may sing in between or whatever, you know, like, I'll play it off, because, you know, sometimes I really be trying to sing, you know what I'm saying? But, and then, like, a lot of musicians, they'll tell jokes, or, you know, they want to do skits and stuff like that. I don't mind incorporating the, you know, the vibes. I definitely don't. I think that when they're put together well, they make beautiful, you know, imagery or art, you know. I would definitely say skits is a powerful way to get notoriety. Just don't let it overpower, you know, what you want to. Some people just want to be famous.
Yeah.
Some people just want to be famous.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who do music, started doing skits, and continue with the skits, and it became more known than their music. And they just left music altogether. And it was just like,
you didn't really want to do music, you just wanted to be famous.
You just wanted to be famous, you know, and I get that, you know, I get that. I understand it. Doesn't mean I, you know, totally agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, you know. what I don't want to do is, like, okay, one of my favorite people to watch is Jamie Foxx,
Mm-hmm.
because he started off doing the comedy. Then he wanted to do music.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a point where he talks about when he was in Living Color,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Teddy Riley was like a guest musician or a guest artist, or he happened to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie Foxx is still in his Wanda outfit. Like, if you guys don't know, look up Jamie Foxx Wanda character. If y'all don't know,
Yeah.
look that up.
From A Living Color, right?
Right. So he's still in his Wanda outfit. He goes up to Teddy Riley with a mixtape. It's like, hey man, I really want you to listen to my mixtape. Please check it out. Like, just imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Teddy Riley's his response is impossible. Or something like that. Or like, you can't be serious. And if you notice, Jamie Foxx went from comedy to serious acting, then into music. And the guy who's responsible for that. I don't know if you watched the I don't know how many of you guys actually watched the Teddy Riley Babyface versus battle.
I didn't watch it. I heard it was a disaster though.
Oh man, sound was worse than mine. But there's a guy like dancing on the side, and he's got like a bucket hat, and everybody was making fun of him. They're like, "Who is this guy?" That guy, which nobody really knows, is very popular, and Jamie Foxx will credit him for being the reason that he got into the music business, the reason that he got in touch with Kanye West, the reason that Slow James came about. She said she wants to love again. That connection right there was the reason. So it took, for him to kind of ease into it. People took him serious as a comedian. They took him serious as an actor. They take him serious as a musician.
Yeah, I think you bring up an interesting concept that not enough people talk about because it blurs the lines, which is this idea of skill stacking or talent stacking. So I push all my guys in our Patreon community. I say, hey man, if you can record yourself, you can learn to mix. If you can learn to mix, you can learn to edit video. If you can learn to edit video, you can learn to shoot video. And if you take your time and learn these skills, before you know it, you can create the music, you can shoot the visual for the music, you can edit the visual for the music. And those skills in and of themselves are valuable in the marketplace because not everybody can do that. Those are scarce skills. But those skills stacked on top of each other allows you to be a one-man army to do what sometimes often whole agencies and labels have to do for people, you can do for yourself. And that's what you're seeing with the rise of TikTok. That's what you're seeing with the Instagram skits. Are you using TikTok, by the way? So total sidetrack.
Man, my TikTok blew up really fast. I did an impression of Denzel, and I think I was at maybe 40 followers because I was doing other stuff. And then I did my TikTok, I believe it's I am _ CK.
Yeah, I am _ CK. Yeah, I just followed you on TikTok. I wasn't sure if you were on TikTok or not.
What's funny is I actually I post a video once in a while, and I'll just leave it. I'll post a video on TikTok and I'll throw my phone somewhere, and then next thing you know, it's 10,000 likes, and I'm just like, bro,
yeah.
Oh right, TikTok is probably the quickest way.
Yes.
I've done out of all of the apps that I use, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of those apps, Twitter, I use TikTok the least, and that was the fastest.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it was so fast.
Yep.
I'm grateful, but I definitely didn't see that coming. But that's why a lot of people are resorting to it, and it's a great way. There are a lot of challenges on there. excuse me, things that you can, get into, different filters and stuff that's popular.
You can make really cool videos right inside of TikTok, which I see a lot of
Yeah,
TikTokers is using it almost as a video editing platform. Drop it on TikTok,
right,
but then scale it because you could download it in a way without the watermark. And if you're already making great skits and maybe you don't have a computer or a laptop, you can literally make a whole skit in TikTok, post it, and then scale it and post a version on Instagram.
right. You could take a series. You could make a whole series, like a little mini series. You could string minute videos together incredibly on TikTok. You could literally make minute long scenes on TikTok and
Right.
transfer them over to Instagram for like IGTV or YouTube and things like that. It's great.
So let's talk about this. So you said, there are certain people who their objective is to get famous, and whether they are going, whatever door they can get into, if it's music, if it's comedy, if it's skits, if it's TikTok, we see that, right? And then it's like, well, you didn't really want to be a musician. And then there's people that are like about the craft, right? And so I got two questions for you. One, so you can answer these however you want, but what is the bigger picture for you? Right? Like, where would you like to see yourself? What is the end goal? Is it to be a writer on a show, to be a face on the show, to just keep doing what you're doing and scale it so you could get more shows, get more bookings as a brand? And then two, do you see yourself pivoting to music? Because I've heard you sing before, and you're a very talented singer as well. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people may not know. So, like, what is the ultimate game, and then is the ultimate landing place, and then is music a part of that for you at some point? In the same way Jamie shifted and eventually did music, in the same way Donald eventually became a director. Where do you see yourself in the grand scheme?
I definitely see myself expanding in a way that will take all of the things that I've done so far and will have been able to nurture them in a platform that probably nobody has experienced or nobody has created. And if they have created, it's probably not. I'll just say I haven't heard of it. Not that I've researched everything, but the thing that I have in mind is to create an experience using all of the gifts that I have, whether it be singing, whether it be impressions, whether it be comedy, whether it be poetry, whether it be my willing to put on a production, things like that. I think the farthest thing or the closest thing that I've seen to that, I work with this group called Church of Laugh.
Oh yeah,
And
Church
of Laugh. If you look, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a whole thing of dates on this board right here of Church of Laugh dates that got canceled due to this whole situation. Church of Laugh, we have skits, we show videos, we sell merch, we do music as well. That was, I love working with them. Shout out to Jay Will. Shout out to the whole Church of Laugh family, because that was the closest thing to what I wanted to do, what I wanted to achieve, and the big picture for me, and mostly to do it live, to create an experience live. I don't know if you've ever seen Sight and Sound.
I have not.
Sight and Sound, I've heard of it. My church is going on plenty of trips, but they're like, Sight and Sound is this big experience. Like, they do all these Bible stories like Jonah and the whale, and they do Moses, and they do the story of Jesus, and it's like very, I don't want to say interactive because I actually haven't interacted with it, but to see like it's like a live experience, maybe there's like snow falling or whatever. Like my dream, it scares me in a sense. It scares me almost because I've never been given a vision that big, but the goal is to create I'm in the process now of writing a musical comedy show.
Let's go. I wish I had my explosion sound.
Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, so I am writing my own show. It is going to be a band. I will be doing music. I want to have special guests. And I want to do it in front of a live audience. And I want to, I don't want to slack in the music. I don't want to slack in the comedy. I want to give people the best of both from me. And, you know, thank God I have friends who believe in me enough to say, look, man, what do you need? It's been a long time coming. You were supposed to have this show. What are you doing? I have this I can provide for you. I have that I can provide for you. This, that, and the third. Knowing that people are in your corner because they see greatness in you. They see the potential in you. They see that, you know, these aren't just gifts. These are God-given gifts.
Amen.
You know, and people who are willing to do that and not feel like they have to compromise the kingdom, but build the kingdom, and feel like, you know, we're creating a platform where people come to a show and don't feel convicted because of what they saw, what they laughed at. You know, in a lot of situations, people say, Christians can't have fun, or you know, followers of Christ can't have fun. You know, I want to break that narrative in a million pieces.
Amen, dude. That's so good. I love it, and you know what? And it sounds, and I don't know if you've gotten this comparison before, but it sounds similar. And I'm meeting this by and large as a huge compliment, but it sounds the same way that Tyler Perry built his thing up. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of people don't know that he started doing Christian plays, self-funded them with music, you know, and was acting and singing and all these other things, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's a very interesting parallel. So I say all that to say, when you got Sea King Studios, you bought the complex in Times Square, and you got the big thing, just remember your boy, you know. I might need a deal myself, you know.
Look. So one of the ideas that I have is to have a multi-purpose warehouse. All right?
That's hard.
Look
at the Lord. Look at the Lord.
Come on. A multi-purpose warehouse. I want to have a radio station in here. I want to have from this warehouse, you can throw weddings to set it up like a skate park. I want people doing kick flips and all that the same way where the bride walks down on a different day. You know what I'm saying? I want to have that, and I feel like, you know, if I don't quit, if I keep on, bro.
Yeah.
And even if I say to myself, okay, this is a dream, this is a vision, you know, tomorrow's not promised. Hopefully I have inspired somebody to dream big. And if their dream scares them, you consult with the Lord. The Lord got you. God got you, man. God got you. There have been instances when in my career, from switching from my 9-to-5 to switching to, you know, my journey, my career, and doing this on my, I don't know how I stayed afloat, and I always have to remind myself, bro, it was God, bro.
Yeah.
It was God, bro.
And that's a great segue, because I kind of I would like to end on this. Is you said switching from your 9-to-5. There's a lot of people watching this. As a influencer, comedian, host, what do your revenue streams look like? And you can talk pre-COVID, post-COVID. How have you had to adjust? Like, what does that look like? Because a lot of people are watching this and they're just starting out and they're trying to figure out, okay, they have the audience. You have the audience, right? And as people that are watching this, they have a TikTok audience. They have a platform, but they're trying to think through of how to monetize it. Unlike me, who I've kind of always like either sold music, streamed my music, or licensed my music. So that's already built in. But what are your revenue streams looking like now?
I started doing voiceovers, bro.
Wow.
I started doing voiceovers.
Okay.
I started doing photo shoots.
Okay.
I started doing.
Taking the photos, or are you shooting? You're modeling.
I'm taking the photos.
Okay, so that's the scarce skill set that we talked about, right? There you go. It may not be you in front of the camera, but you can get behind the camera and make better money than you would at a 9-to-5.
Right. Right. Let's see. I do pre-recorded videos for different people. Um, let's see.
Are you on Cameo?
Yes, just
Okay.
got on Cameo.
Okay.
Um, what Fiverr.
Okay.
Um, oh, I still sing for my church. We record our live stream. They still ask me to come in, and they're paying me.
Nice.
I actually was leading worship at a shelter. Um, this is a quick story. I was asked to come in and lead worship at a shelter. Didn't know what to expect. It's in the city. Um, and at first, they were saying that, we don't know how much we're going to be able to pay you and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm still going to come because I didn't know. There was always a want for me um, to serve in that capacity. I just did not know how I would be able to get into it. I didn't know if I was going to be like a vigilante running out in the middle of the night, tossing sandwiches from a black van, or I didn't know what, you know what I'm saying? But I was given the opportunity to do so from this couple from Michigan, came to New York. They started a church at a shelter. Um, they the first time they were like, okay, well, we'll give you like $100 to serve. And me, I was just happy I was like, okay, that, or whether it be like $100 a service, $100 a month. I was like, all right, well, let's do it. A church actually saw what they were doing. They came to the service one day. We're talking about people with like mental illnesses, drug addictions, and homelessness, of course, and things like that. It's like crazy. But I love them. I actually miss them now because I haven't seen them in a few months due to the whole COVID situation. This family said, okay, we'll give you a grant. We'll give you money for whatever you guys need. Oh, you guys have a worship leader? How much are you paying him? Oh no, we'll give you $1,000 a month for him.
Wow.
I haven't been to service in about 3-4 months. They still decided to pay me in the meantime. When I tell you, bro, God has been shining his light through multiple people, especially now, bro, in my life.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's so good. That's so good.
God is great, bro.
And here's what I think in terms of that. I think oftentimes we know God, seek first the kingdom of God, all these things will be added to you, right? So we know
that's actually seeking.
Yeah.
So that's I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but CKING. My email is seeking. So it's CKING.
Oh wow, look at that. Look at the Lord. Let's go. But we read that verse and we're like, okay, seek first the kingdom of God, all these things will be added to. So we know God is going to provide, right? We know, and this is not me saying God's gonna make everybody Jeff Bezos and make everybody rich. Like that's the other extreme. But we know that God is going to provide. But sometimes as entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, we can get so wrapped up in trying to hustle to monetize our talents, right, that we miss and granted, like, money is important, earning an income is important, right, that all that stuff is important.
Oh my God.
You're good, bro. I'm gonna make this point while you yo, we told you it was gonna be funny. But look, sometimes we get wrapped up in trying to make the money and chase the money. And money doesn't solve everything, but money solves your money problems, right? Like, we know that much. So money's important. So, but what we could do, what we should do, and what my brother is doing, and what I encourage a lot of you guys to do, is instead of trying to figure out how to monetize and chasing money, something better, something maybe more shrewd, is to figure out how can you develop the scarce skill set, that C King has, of being able to lead worship, being able to shoot and edit video, being able to be funny, do impressions. The skill set, seeking the skill set that is scarce and valuable in the marketplace. And he can literally add value from both sides. He can say, hey, I'm going to get behind the camera and shoot photos and give you fire photos. Or he can say, I'm going to do voiceovers. Or he can say, I'm just going to do impressions and be funny and make skits. It's the scarce skill set is what's going, and the skill stacking is what's going to lead him to abundance and to be in a position where he can do these things that he's dreaming about. It's not just the seeking the money. It's oftentimes the skill set and seeking the skill set and the scarce skill set that will enable you to do that. And so right, and again, like seek first the kingdom of God. That's talking about seeking God's kingdom and seeking Jesus. But I think we could also apply that to seek the things that God is depositing as well, the things that God is giving you a passion for, the things that God is God's way of doing things with money, God's way of doing things. What the heck? All right. Okay, this joint is bugging out on my end. I'm trying to bring oh, that's why I'm tripping. Okay. God's kingdom in what we're called to do, man. And seeking that, I think, will position us to not worry about money when we are in a place where we have a scarce skill set to be a blessing to others and add value to others. So, yeah, man, bro, do you want to take us out? I know we had some, technical difficulties, but it's all good.
My whole thing was just like, I think my computer like quickened when I said that, because it just like did a whole joke. But yeah, for anybody watching who feels as though this time has put a halt or a hindrance on what you have been blessed with, I'll say this. This is a hindrance, not a halt. Okay? A hindrance may delay the time, or it may be something that, will get into a way, something, an obstacle, if you will. And if you imagine a runner in a race, right? There are certain obstacle courses that they have, right? Obstacles may block your path, but they aren't meant to stop you. Your time may be delayed, but your time is not stopped. You can still continue to run and win, even now, even with this hindrance, because that's all this is, beloved. I'm telling you, that's all this is. It's a hindrance, man. And there is a way. Trust me, if you trust God, there is a way. I don't know what the way exactly is for you, but there is a way. God did not give you this thing to say, okay, well, that's enough for now. That's you've done enough. Thank you. All right. I'm just going to put this thing in your way, and it's going to stop you from continuing to go and do this or doing that. This is a hindrance, beloved, not a halt. I'm telling you, man, I can only say the best testimony I have is myself, man. It would be a whole nother story if I stopped doing what I'm doing and God was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to send you random checks. Mm-hmm. Like God was like, okay, you're standing still. Okay, well, I'm just going to send you random anything. No, it was me saying, okay, God, my resources, what did you give me? You gave me this, you gave me that. Okay, God, well, I'm going to use this to continue. I'm going to use this to keep on. I'm going to use Instagram Live to promote business owners, to talk about their life story, to maybe even an introduction to the gospel, for anything. This one guy was like, yeah, man, you would make a great Muslim. And I said, we had a great conversation. I still, we left respectably, still,
you know, I left respectably, still loving Christ and, you know, still having him as the center of my life. He left respectably, still loving his, you know, his spirituality. Things were still intact. I'm using these things to still, I'm making money. Okay. Praise God. But I'm still connecting.
Mm.
I'm still connecting. I'm still, being in rooms with people, even if I got to wear a mask, that I probably wouldn't have been connected to, or people who have wanted to connect with me, and still, God is providing that opportunity to do so. You know what I'm saying? Look, I was sick. I'll say it. I had it, bro.
Mm.
I had COVID.
Wow.
I quarantined. I think I was in the house for about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks just quarantined. I didn't have crazy symptoms. My symptoms weren't drastic, you know. But I saw a lot of people die from this thing. I'm still in shock, and you know, of how many people I've actually lost. So we've lost here in New York. But I knew I had to persevere.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're watching this thing, do not feel like this is your stop.
Mm.
This ain't your stop, beloved. This is your hindrance, but you still gotta move. You still gotta keep on going. You know what I'm saying? There are people that probably you would not have reached if this thing hadn't happened.
Yeah.
To be honest, there are probably people who, if you notice now, everybody's going on Instagram Live. Everybody's going on TikTok. People are making, you know what I'm saying? People are I've seen more people turn to prayer now than I have in so long.
Mm.
You know, some people are yearning for that outlet. Guys, you could be that outlet. I ramble so much, but do not, don't miss this opportunity to let God use you, man. Don't miss this opportunity to let God use you, man. This is, bruh. Oh man, just persevere, guys. Persevere, please. I beg of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my brother C King. Make sure you guys are following him on all the socials. And if you enjoyed this video, give this a thumbs up. Hit the share button. I'm going to try to chop these down so we got them for the other parts of, you know, the YouTubes, because I think the first 20 minutes of this was hilarious at the impersonations. But yeah, man, go follow him. He has some really funny stuff on his Instagram. Every time I see his Instagram, bro, it like sincerely makes me laugh. So thank you for doing this, brother. Appreciate you big time, man.
You already know, man. Much love, man. Thank you for having me.